Alright, check this out. Thanks guys for checking back in with me. It's about a year and I think 6 months since I've had my surgery. I did have it back on November 5th, 2013, and had it in Warrensburg, Missouri was the city and state had it in. And I used to work up there at the hospital, don't anymore, but I did get a great deal while I worked there to have that surgery. I was really blessed to be able to get that. The reason I made this video today was because after about a 100-pound loss, I think it was a little bit more than that, you know, I was always concerned about whether or not a year out or even a year and a half out, if I was going to be able to maintain that. And happy to say that I have. And I expect to keep that maintained about, you know, another year from now and further on out and stuff. And so I really wanted to kind of check in because I know there's a lot. Well, I know for myself, when I first got the surgery, I knew that I was going to be, you know, successful short term. And but my question was, am I going to be successful long term? And a year and a half for me it would be long term in my opinion, and that, you know, from here on out would be what I consider long term. And so I'm hiding out in my daughter's room, in my 2-year-old daughter's room, to have a little bit of privacy. But anyways, this is long term for me, and so it is very exciting for me, and it makes me feel great to know that after all the hype has left, after the honeymoon phase, as some people would call it, that I can still be where I am. You know, I didn't keep any of my big boy clothes. When I flew through the size, the stuff was gone. I wasn't planning on going back, and I still don't plan on going back. As far as what I'm eating and exercise I'm doing in order to keep this, you know, my eating isn't top notch. I can't say that it is far superior to what it used to be before surgery, but I can say it's definitely cleaned up. As far as the what am I trying to say? I got sidetracked by my phone going off. As far as the restriction goes for the sleeve, it's not near what it was, obviously, when you first get out of surgery, or even a couple months afterwards, but it is still such that I can, you know, not eat a whole bunch before it tells me, you know, I'm definitely done, and I start getting these weird hiccup / burp kind of things going on to let me know. And sometimes I am a little bit on the gluttonous side of things, to where even though you know, I get that signal stuff, I might pop another couple bites, and just because it tastes so darn good. Chicken Alfredo, I tell you what. But anyways, we've really been trying to clean it up at night time, to where we're not busting out a lot of pastas at night or really high calorie foods. Of course, we don't eat late, but we make sure to keep it kind of clean that way, because before it was very easy to have spaghetti or something like that. They had a lot of pasta and carbs and things at night, so we definitely cleaned that up. I have, ever since I first had my surgery, or not ever since, but when I had my first had my surgery and came out of it, I was very scared to put sugars into my body, or very scared of what new things to try, because how it's going to make me feel. So when I was scared of something, of course, I didn't even try it. But then as time went on, I would get those moments when you're brave, and a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, we're just going to try it and see how it affects us. And once you realize you can eat something, you almost give yourself permission to eat it from there on out. And so the fear of how foods may sit in your stomach was really kind of went in my favor, because I just wouldn't try it, wouldn't touch them. And even still, like social gatherings and stuff, or like Christmas dinners and Thanksgivings and stuff like that, I don't hardly have any of the sweets and things like that, or certainly not very much. And I remember when I first started out, that was always kind of a bummer, because everybody else was eating, and I could have 2 or 3 bites at this little bitty plate. You know, but that's not the case today. Now I can have a small plate, but definitely not as small as it was. So I feel like now I can eat enough to be satisfied, both physically and you know, as well as being able to enjoy a social event with other people as well. So let's see, head hunger I mean, there's been times where it has just been crazy, and I mean crazy, and I'm not sure what triggers that off. But I mean, it's not that I don't know what triggers it, but it seems like it's there all the time. So it really seems like it takes a lot of willpower to be able to keep that subsided a little bit. And I can't say that I always win that battle, but it's definitely more of a struggle now than it was before I gave myself permission to eat crackers and things like that. But once I knew I could handle crackers and stuff and everything went well, man, I fell in love with crackers and have been trying to avoid them. But they're so darn good. And they got so many different flavors to them and stuff, you know. But anyways, I used to not even like crackers. I didn't like the texture, didn't like the crunch to it. But anyway, so let's talk about what I'm doing now, which is getting into mountain biking. Nice little place, about 30 minutes from here, definitely within striking distance on the weekends and maybe even during the week after work. They have implemented some mountain bike trails. And this isn't just like a straight a path, you know, a trail for you to go on. We're talking about curves and down, you know, some downhills and some climbs, and we're talking about having to cross little streams on big rocks. You know, definitely some mountain biking type of trails, and I just love it. I really do. You know, I always had like a mountain bike, but I always asked myself why. Because I'm riding a mountain bike on the road, or I'm riding a mountain bike on a sidewalk, but it just seemed like overkill. Like, why would we need a mountain bike? And so usually we'd end up having hybrids, which is a cross between a road bike with little bitty tires or a mountain bike with great big tires. So you have medium-sized tires, but we'd have a hybrid for our trail rides, like on the Katy Trail, where it's just kind of a straight shot mostly. And if it is downhill or uphill, it's very gradual, which is what those hybrids are designed for. A little bit more comfortable seating, a little bit more upright sitting position, so a little bit more comfort involved in that. But that's basically what we ride. Or I had a road bike to ride on the street with very thin tires, so you're not causing very much friction, and you can get a little bit of speed, a little bit of pep, and have a little bit of fun. So, but anyway, mountain bike is totally different, to where you have to actually climb, not at high speeds by any means, but you're putting a lot of muscle into it. You're having to balance a lot. You know, you have to be careful when you go downhill. You know, you got to make sure you're hanging on. But it's a trip. I mean, it is a good time. If you ever get a chance, if you don't like biking because it hurts, you know, your rump and stuff like that, or whatever the case may be, but you're used to just riding down a road or down a straight trail, and so you just don't like biking, give that mountain biking a try, because it's totally different in the way that you ride, and you gotta be focused so much on steering and making sure you're accurate in the lines that you take through these trails and stuff. And a lot of times you see a lot of neat wildlife. I mean, we've been out in the trails and stuff, and there's deer not very far from us, either just staring at us, or they're bounding along with us, or crossing over and stuff. And it's really really neat. So that's kind of what we've been getting involved in. We haven't had very much luck the first couple tries of mountain biking. I think we went out and we've got a flat when we were a mile in, and I had the parts that I brought with me, but I didn't have the right ones. They were for some mountain bikes that we had previously, and they had a wrong tube valve size, 2 different types of valves on there, and so I had the wrong ones packed. Totally my fault. So we ended up getting flat in there, and the tire pulled off, hanging on a tree and everything, and anyways, had the wrong hardware, or had the wrong replacement parts, so we basically had to hike it back out. So we had to hike back out, pushing the bikes and everything, and so it was a learning experience. Needless to say, I went shot straight to Walmart to get the right parts that we needed, so that way the next time we went out, we wouldn't have that problem. But the next time we did go out, my bike ended up having a flat. We did have the necessary things, so I was able to hang it in the tree, take the tire off, put in the new tube, and we were ready to go. So a lot of fun, but so far a lot of flats. We still haven't figured out what the right, how to keep the flats from happening so much. We've had slime tubes. We put in what we call Mr. Toughies, which are tire liners between your tire and your tube. And the thorns, some of the thorns out there are just vicious. I mean, we're talking long guys that tires don't seem to be any match for. I know there's more expensive tires with Kevlar material in them and stuff, and we may end up having to go that direction. But that's coffee. You thought it was cappuccino. I know. That's coffee. I'll let that one slide though. Anyways, it's good coffee, by the way. Anyway, so that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. You know, the biking thing is my thing. If you're having a hard time exercising, well, I was having a hard time exercising because it just wasn't fun. I like machines and stuff. We even got us a nice Bowflex Max, which is a real nice machine to use. But you know, it's smooth and stuff, but it's just not fun. I mean, you're just standing in the same spot, and it's just really, You're just trying to get through it. So if you can find something mountain biking, like tennis, I know some people do kayaking, things like that. It just really depends on your surroundings, what you have available. Jump into that. That's what I did. I jumped into something that was fun, and so it doesn't just seem like bueno exercise. It seems like a lot of fun, and I'm getting all the benefit out of it. So, anyways, I want to share that with you guys. Still doing great. A year and a half out, still doing great. Very thankful for that. Very thankful to God for that. I'm just very appreciative to have had this surgery. Number one, which was just a great opportunity. I'm glad I was able to take it. I never jumped through all the hoops and stuff, but it was so worth it. Obviously, I would do it again, but then I'm just really glad that I have the resources around me to be able to do some good exercise, some fun things. So I hope you guys are having fun. Congratulations to all the new VSGers out there, and I know you're going to sit there, some of you new ones, and think, am I going to be successful a year and a half out? And I sure hope you are. Just, try to develop the best habits you can. Try to be forgiving of yourself. Try not to be so hard on yourself right off the bat, but be diligent and stuff. And so, anyways, I did want to say this, that the upcoming videos, I'm trying to rig up on my bike to do videos while I ride, so that it's looking at me. I can talk to the camera, ride, and it kind of show a little bit of the scenery at the same time. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, but hopefully the next couple of videos you see will be me riding a bike and talking about it. I thought that was a great idea. I thought it'd make for a very interesting video, so keep your eye out for that. We'll see you guys.